Good afternoon, my name is Alena Zaleska, Crypto Updates, and today's my guest is Gustavo Montero. Gustavo, I know who you are, but please tell to our audience what you're famous for.
Thanks, Alena. Well, this is our nth interview, I guess, which is great. My name is Gustavo Montero. I'm an engineer by training, an ex-banker in Switzerland. I'm the founder and the chairman of a digital assets management company called Carter Capital, based out of the UAE.
Perfect, great. So if not you, then who can tell us more about crypto? And surprisingly, even though it's not the first year, we are keep talking about blockchain technologies and crypto still. So many people don't know what it is and where to start and what's happening globally with cryptocurrency. So please tell us
just
more about that.
A couple of words about blockchain technology first.
Absolutely.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's a very old technology. It started in 1991 in the US with two researchers in the US that were doing other things. And from there, as you all know, in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto came up with this white paper and then created Bitcoin, and then the rest is story all the way to here. So I think that the real question is what's happening globally today.
Absolutely,
is that correct? Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, what happened is actually relatively simple. For a number of years, since 2008 really, the crypto markets were contested by a lot of people because, there may have been some scams, some issues with people, etc., but mostly because there was no global adoption of this new asset, put it that way. But in the last few months, as you all know, the big boys came around, the BlackRocks, the Fidelities, etc. They applied for the ETFs in Bitcoins in the US, they were granted, and now we are in very serious territories where the major financial institutions in the world, they're all in, or they're getting in day by day, by the way. And I believe that we're now trading in excess of $1 billion of these new assets by day. So it's quite important and growing a lot. That means also that the value of the main cryptocurrencies in the market has grown a lot. And I believe this morning that the value of the industry was in excess of $1 trillion, which, by the way, is 1% of the value of the global economy, which is $100 trillion.
I see. But still, that's where the money is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so globally, you can say that it's very positive trend now, especially with the cryptocurrency going worldwide. But let's narrow it a little bit to the GCC countries, as especially we are in the UAE, but let's talk first about the GCC countries overall, how the Arab world adopting the cryptocurrencies. What you can say about that?
Well, in the GCC there is adoption already. There is a lot of interest in this asset class, or the crypto asset class, put it that way, or digital assets. I like to speak more about digital assets because it's not only coins, there's a number of other digital assets that we're working with. So there is a clear interest for adoption, and major countries such as Saudi Arabia are now speaking every day about how they will get into this industry, etc. So I would anticipate that within the next 24 months, even shorter maybe, other countries in the GCC area will strongly get into this industry. Yeah.
Okay, and I believe when you talk about Saudi Arabia, they look a lot of what is happening in the UAE and then implementing that as well. So if we are coming to the UAE and Dubai, where we are located right now, what's happening with the crypto markets here?
Well, the UAE is a pioneer in this area, in the GCC. So the UAE is a country that has legislation for this industry. I would say that the blockchain industry at large, cryptos are part of that industry, as well known. So there is legislation in Abu Dhabi, there is legislation here in Dubai right now. We are moving into a world into which we are doing very interesting things in the UAE, and certainly other countries in the area, such as Saudi Arabia or others, they're all looking at here, what's going on here. So I must say that there is a tremendous amount of blockchain related companies that have moved into the UAE in the last few months or the last couple of years, put it that way. And the regulatory environment we have here, which is very, very good, it's helping a lot into that. So lots of blockchain action in the UAE.
In the UAE, yes. Yes, that's great. I will ask and go further into the regulations here in the UAE, but before that, you mentioned that more and more crypto-related companies coming to Dubai and other Emirates. If we talk about the numbers, because I know that our audience wants to imagine that numbers of how is the market, how many companies now in the UAE.
I cannot give you the number exactly for a very, very simple reason. It's growing every day. So if I give you a number right now, by the end of the day today, there's going to be there are thousands of companies that move here. Working in the blockchain environment. There are now free zones in this country that are almost exclusively dedicated to this industry because the pressure to open in the UAE is so big. So thousands of companies moving in right now, and as I said, this is daily. It's a daily movement. It's very interesting to observe because it is not so big. Therefore, there's lots more cars in the streets in Dubai, which is a problem because there's so many people moving here. But anyway, it's great because it's a very robust and vibrant industry right now.
Yeah, so they believe that they feel very comfortable here, especially with the regulations. But so I believe that you're on the side that crypto and government regulations should work closely together, right?
Well, you know,
or you have different opinions.
No. That's right. That's a good question. I'm Swiss, so in Switzerland we have now quite a number of regulations and a regulatory environment which is quite good. In places like Zug, the canton of Zug in Switzerland, you can pay your taxes with crypto right now. All right. In Switzerland, we have a number of banks that are crypto banks, fully regulated. I'm not going to mention names because my lawyers don't like me to do that, but they're fully regulated, so therefore they're regulated by the local authority. So when you translate that into here, as I said, good regulations being created, the regulatory environment is evolving in the good sense. And I personally believe that perhaps the only thing that's missing here right now, and it's a call to all my friends from the UAE, very good friends that are local and we discuss this all the time, is we just need to have the possibility of having crypto banks in the UAE. So on-ramp, off-ramp, done with the bank, totally regulated, etc. That, if that happened, this is my personal opinion, not the opinion of my company, personal opinion, Dubai becomes the #1 place in the world for blockchain companies, for the crypto environment, for everything, because of the entire regulatory environment we have, including the actual funds we have available to do things, and the fact that the UAE and particularly Dubai is such an incredible entrepreneurial environment. So you have an idea, you go out, it's good, you get finance, etc. So the moment they have banks here that are crypto banks, fully regulated, it's a different ballgame.
I see. No, so true. But you know how to keep that balance between the government regulations and crypto and blockchain, because they actually two completely opposite systems. Like governments try to control in a way whether the blockchain initially was created in order to get rid of any of the controls. So how to keep that balance between regulations and still have that freedom with blockchain?
Aliona, that's a fantastic question. I teach at 3 universities right now for the fun of it. They don't pay me anything, but I teach because I like to give information back. So I'll give you the explanation I give my students in this, because it's important, because it has to do with history. So we have had a financial system for hundreds or thousands of years, if you will, that operates in a certain way, all right? That's where the regulatory environment, the traditional regulatory environment exists. That's where the traditional banks exist and where the traditional finance economy exists, all right? That system, as we all know, it's broken. It's broken for many reasons, but the most important, I think, is the debt, all right? So there are entire areas like Europe or like the US that actually have a lot more debt than they can ever pay.
Absolutely.
Therefore, the system is not working. That's one of the reasons why we have so many banks going broke. It was even one more last week in the US. I can't remember the name, but check it in the internet. One more, I mean, out of many. It's the system is not working. So effectively, the blockchain crypto environment or crypto system, if you will, represents an alternative, right?
Yeah.
An alternative that's working
Correct.
very well, that is growing a lot, where the valuation of the assets are growing dramatically. So how do you make this compatible? Well, take my own country, Switzerland. I like to give it as an example because it's a great country.
Absolutely.
What we did in Switzerland, we simply regulated the system. So we told banks, for instance, that want to be a crypto bank, come and be regulated by the central bank and by the authorities, right? So I think that there is a compromise here to be made between the traditional financial system and the crypto financial environment, if you want to call it that, or whatever industry, in which this industry works within a regulated environment but is operating those assets, right?
See.
And by the way, this is beginning to happen globally because, as you know, the big boys such as BlackRock and Fidelity and Templeton and I mean, name it, they're all getting into it. These are regulated companies, right? So at the end of the day, there's going to have to be reports at the end of the year, right? And those reports will have to be audited. And in order to audit, we need standards. So I think that this is evolving in the right direction, and these two worlds are converging right now, are beginning to move together. And there's a tremendous amount of funds are moving from the traditional economy into the crypto economy or digital assets economy, if you will. So governments and the governments and the traditional economy and the crypto or digital assets economy are forced to work together, and that is going to happen. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, it's just like, yes, as we started the question with, find the perfect balance between them.
There is a balance. There is always a balance.
Yes, yeah. But I'm happy to hear that it's merging there. But still, when I go to any of the events, I start to talk to people, I can see that the crypto community, even in Dubai, even in the hub, even in the center of the crypto world, in a way, it's still quite small. And the question that's keep popping up in my head, like, why? Like, what's wrong? Is that malicious actors, scammers, lack of education, lack of regulations? We don't have necessity to use crypto in daily life. Like, what are the reasons? Maybe few
you mentioned all of them actually,
really?
but I'll just focus. I'll focus on a couple.
Yes,
they're all very good points you want to make. I think one of the key elements is trust.
Trust.
The digital assets industry or crypto industry, whatever you want to call it, has not generated trust in the past because, as you very well said, because there are still low barriers to entry. Pretty much anybody can do this.
Yeah.
So that means that a lot of people that we don't want them to be doing this are doing it, or we're doing it. But the system is cleaning itself. There have been a few important problems in the last few months or years. So I am of the opinion that the system is actually cleaning itself. So trust is actually growing up quite a bit. Then you have, as I said, the big major financial institutions that are now buying crypto and producing, I would say, products, financial products that are part of that industry. So that generates a lot of trust in the system. And then the last one, which is really a mea culpa, but perhaps that's one of the reasons why I teach at 3 universities, is because I believe that one of the issues we have is education, as in lack of education, Lionel. So we need to educate a lot more, we need to go out and give a lot more information. That's one of the reasons why I am called, and I normally speak in many global conferences on the subject of the transition from the traditional economy to the traditional finance, really, to the Web3 finance. I do that on a regular basis. I guess it's going to be my name and my website underneath at the end of this interview. Suggest you follow this and go to these conferences. Most of them are free, really, free entrance, and educate yourself. So education is something we need to improve.
I see. I totally, absolutely agree. But in some way, I think it can be applicable for the younger generation. But what to do with, like, my parents? Like, they're not going to the university. They're not gonna go for any of the networking events which happening. Like, from where they can get the information and learn about the crypto world, which for them sounds like aliens coming.
That's a fantastic subject, Aliona. I am, one of my students is doing a PhD on that. He's actually looking to that subject. And some of the elements to answer, there are not many elements to answer your question, but there's some of them has to do with education from the next generation. And I will give you an example of something that I've been working on lately. There is a family office that came to our firm, to Carter Capital, to our company, and say, we want you to manage part of our funds in cryptos, right? And we said, yes, great, no problem. Can you come and tell us what it is? And then we went into the meeting and we found this very set of old people, my age, right? And they understood nothing about it. And we tried to explain it to them or whatever. But in the same room, in the same boardroom, there was the next generation. The generations coming up, the ones that are between, say, 25 and 30, right? Okay. Those people, they grew up with blockchain technology, computers, iPhones, iPads, or whatever, PCs, whatever you name it. They understand what's going on. And those people are mostly invested in crypto already. So they started explaining, these old chaps in this meeting, what was all about, what this all about. And by the end of the meeting, we had a real good understanding of what was going on and how they're going to give us their funds for us to manage them. So I believe a huge element of that education will come from the younger generations that are coming up in the world of companies, now taking over family offices, big companies, etc. They will come in. And then there is the older chaps like myself, or like some of the CEOs. I was a CEO of a bank in Switzerland, so I know some of these chaps that are my age, actually a bit younger than me, but they brought their companies into this industry, all right? That some of the names I gave you before, all right? The JP Morgans like kind of thing, right? And those chaps understand what's going on. So they're educating their troops and their families and their friends and everybody. So it will take time. It will take time. Mostly because blockchain at the base is a relatively complex technical subject. Remember that it comes from two PhDs that were working on something else, and then they discovered, actually they created a ledger, right? A distributed ledger, we call it right now. They created this in order to do something that had nothing to do with finance, all right? They were trying to timestamp documents.
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
So it comes from a very technical environment. So when you try to explain to people about this, but more and more people are getting it. And now, by the way, at the end of the day, I would say this with very candid eyes, people will only care about money at the end of the day, all right? So if they see that their portfolio, I mean, Carter Capital, we just reported 120% returns for our clients last year. So, right? When you see companies doing that, and we're very conservative, we're ultra conservative. We're not playing with crazy coins or anything. Just invested in portfolios with what we believe are solid coins, right? And when people see that, then they take interest and say, well, what's going on here? You know, my banker only gives me 4%, 5%.
Exactly.
So I think that the results of solid companies like ours, but we're not the only ones. There are maybe around 20 companies like ours run by ex-bankers in this field. So we use all the methodologies we used to use in banking, risk analysis, etc., and we do the job right. Okay, there are a few like ours. We're not the only, as I said, that are doing the right thing and generating some very powerful results. This year, it's only 1.5 months into it, and we're already on 15% return for our clients. And we believe that we're going to be again by the end of the year around 100. But that's our alpha. We're not looking for more than 100. That's it. 100 is a lot of money for a lot of people. If you have a yield of 100% on your assets, you know
what you need more.
What else do you need? That's my point. That's why we're very conservative. We're only investing what we call robust, solid assets.
That's great, yes, because still, as we were talking, one of the reasons there are so many malicious actors and so many scammers and how many cryptos and tokens are appearing in the market today and disappearing tomorrow.
I can tell you what I tell most people when they come to see me for investing in this area. I say, we want to invest in cryptos. I say, right, do you want to invest in cryptos? And I tell them, don't invest in cryptos. I say, what do you mean? But you're in this field. I said, what I mean by that is, if you're going to go on your own, don't do it, you lose all your money. Almost 100%, you lose all your money. Find a professional firm like Carta Capital, but others that are in the market, and go through them. They will obviously have a fee for what they're doing for you, but you will go professionally into this industry. All right? Don't go on your own because it's wild, it's too crazy. Remember, there is 22,000+ coins in the market. So if someone is new and say, which one do I choose? Okay, well, there's the obvious one that everybody invests in, but there's all these other ones, and you want to create a portfolio. So how do you create a portfolio? Well, that's where I suggest people to go through professional advisors.
Yes.
Don't go on your own. If you're going to go on your own, just put your money in carrots and tomatoes, and that's it, and don't go into this. Right?
Yeah, so just put and forget about it. But so true. I like that you touched the topic of going and asking for the help of the professionals. It's like the same. We don't try to treat ourselves if we have a fever or something is paining. So we go to doctor and ask for their help.
If you're sick, go to a doctor.
Exactly.
Don't go to someone in the corner of the street say, I'm sick.
Yes, and buy some herbs. Yes, and try. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Eat these plants here.
And same here, especially when we're talking about money, about the assets. So it's we need someone who knows how to manage that.
Course,
absolutely. Amazing, sounds fantastic, and thank you for this discussion. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure we will have more discussions to come.
Thank you, Leon. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you.